Welcome back to the Nightlife Podcast, Season 3, Episode 25. Finally, we're finishing the season and we're going to do it the right way. Again, we are here still in quarantine, actually, for us over here in Miami. Back to closing restaurants again. I have no idea how long this is going to be, how long it's going to last, and I don't know how long some of us are going to survive. But here we are. I have been talking to a lot of people in Canada lately. I've actually been learning about the way they pronounce some of their cities' names. But without further ado, let me bring my friend Matt Ward from Ottawa, Canada, from the capital. How are you, Matt?
Yeah,
How's everything?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing today?
Good, man. I just learned how to pronounce the capital of Canada. I kept saying Ottawa over here.
Go spread the good word, man.
Right. Matt, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, what you've been doing in the industry?
Right. Yeah. So, hey everybody, I'm Mr. Matt Ward. I run an event planning and marketing business out of Ottawa, Canada. It's the capital of the country. And so I throw events, monthly events, and I was running marketing contracts for nightclubs, bars, and restaurants here in the capital.
There you go. All right. So how long have you been in the industry?
So I started as a bartender in the industry like 6 years ago, and I started doing my own events about 4 years ago. 4 years
Got
ago.
it. So I see a lot of what you do has a lot to do with the bartending part of it. Is it mixology or just bartending or both or?
So with regards to our virtual events that we just did, so, I know we're going to get into the conversation about the virtual side of things and how I
Right.
pivoted. But yeah, before pre-COVID, we were like, I was just filling up the bars, right? I was planning the event and bringing business to the bars, and that's what ended up getting me the job with them through a marketing contract to help fill up their club every week. And then I was doing my own events. So yeah, I don't actually deal with the bartenders too much. I used to be a bartender. That's it.
Right. Now let me ask you a question. Over there, is it any different? Is it different than here as to what the what you do and what a promoter does, or a main promoter, as I would call it, is that what that is?
So I mean, I guess if you have a promoter, like, okay, so I was the head promoter of a music festival here in Ottawa. So we have a music festival here. It's probably pretty small scale compared to your guys over there. 35,000 people, and I was the head promoter for them, right? So for them, that was their business, right? Those were their events that I was promoting for them.
Right.
So I started doing my own events and promoting, promoting my own business. So
Correct.
I guess like what you would call a promoter there is somebody that rents out the nightclub, right? And books the DJ and puts together the event. Is that your guys' definition of it?
Well, so the way we see it over here is we have the main promoter, which is kind of in a way the way that I see, the one that actually does the whole thing, and then you have the promoters in general, which some of us call sub promoters, which is actually the whole team of promoters, everybody that brings each and every person. So yeah, it's a little, I guess, a scale in that sense. We don't usually see the way that you have it. Although what I've seen different is the type of events that you've been doing, during this quarantine. That is what definitely caught my attention, because I have talked to a lot of people, and I am, I'm happy to have found many around the world that have actually done something with this time, but the majority have been actually just sitting down and waiting. Every time that you find somebody who's thought outside the box and built something different, different, but still in the industry, not those that are, just finding a job outside of what the industry is or whatever. No, actually staying, true to your passion and continuing to work with what you were doing before, but basically, fixing, moving some things around and changing some things around, like you said before, pivoting. So why don't you tell me a little bit about how things changed with COVID and what you are doing today?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So basically, when COVID hit, all the restaurants closed, right? Everybody knows all the restaurants, all the bars, all the clubs closed. Right. So that's my business. That was literally my business. My marketing contracts and my monthly events were at bars and restaurants. So my business stopped overnight, and I kind of went into fight or flight mode to figure out what I was going to do. And so one of the events that I host here in Ottawa, types of events, is a pub crawl, right? Everybody's heard of a pub crawl. You bar hop at a bunch of different locations.
Right.
I work out deals with the venues and the sponsors to provide tickets, value in the ticket. So everybody buys a ticket and we all get together, and you do a pub crawl. So I'm pretty good at those. I kind of have the market cornered here. So I kind of took the idea of the pub crawl and just put it virtually. So that was what I did to pivot my business and still host an event. So nobody could leave at home. So I brought the party to them.
Right. So a lot of people have been thinking of how to do this. Okay. Meaning, and I've heard a lot of promoting companies over here talking about the different possibilities. And the main issue all the time is, how are we going to make any money out of this? Because at the beginning, things were a little different. People were thinking, this is going to be 15 days. We'll get through, right away after 15 days. So let's just do like a live video with our DJ and that'll be it, so that people don't forget us in the next 15 days. They did that, and they did it another time. And then they realized, all right, the DJ doesn't want to play for free anymore. Now, what's the next thing that we're going to do? All right, let's figure out what kind of event we can promote, and make some money off of. And they get stuck right there. A lot of them get stuck right there. Nobody has figured out a way. Not nobody, but most haven't figured out a way to continue to make it a business, even though it's during these times. I mean, everybody is entitled to continue, to make some money. We have to pay our bills, correct? So what was the twist in to what you were doing? How did you bring the party to the people?
That was it. How, I had to bring the party to the people. So basically, I put the party in the box. So we created cocktail kits.
Okay.
We created drink kits that had all the different ingredients that you needed to make Caesars. So we celebrate National Caesar Day here every year. It's Canada's national cocktail. You guys in America call it a Bloody Mary. A Bloody Mary. We call it a Caesar here.
Okay.
And so I do a big event around that every single year, right? I do a big pub crawl. And so I figured, why not put the Caesars in a box, right, in a cocktail kit, and send it to people at their houses? So I figured out, I designed a box. I partnered with Smirnoff to put vodka in it, and Caesar glasses, and tons of cool stuff into these kits. And then I partnered with a local delivery service here in Ottawa. It's like last mile delivery, and we delivered kits to people's houses. So that's how we kept sales coming in and making money, was because people are drinking a lot. People are drinking more at home, right? And so there's that demand. That was the problem that we were solving, is like, people are going to drink at home. So we were solving that problem by sending them the booze to their house, but also pairing it with an experience. That's why there was value in buying it, is because anybody can go buy fucking stuff for Caesars, Caesars, right? Pardon my language, but you can't have a bartender show you live how to make an amazing Caesar, and you can't have a Zoom room full of 10 other people that are all there for the same reason. They want to party. They're stuck at home too. So that was it. I packaged up the party, sent it to them, and then brought them all together online. And it worked out for me.
Man, so tell me a little bit more about that part. I saw in your promotion that that it was groups of 10. What exactly does that mean, and why not just one big group of people on a big Zoom call?
Great question. So this was the key that I think that I brought to the table that I don't think anybody else has. I haven't seen it anywhere. So the reason groups of 10 is because going out is an experience. It's about talking to and being around other people. That's what you go out for. So without that like interaction directly with other people, then you're taking out the pure essence of why you go out and why we go to restaurants and why we go to dinner and why we dress up, like you're taking that away. So right away there's Montreal, right? It's a very popular city right near Ottawa.
Right.
And so one of their nightclubs came online and they did a virtual nightclub right away and they crushed it. They did an amazing job and they did like a huge Zoom room party, right, where everybody's dancing in their Zoom room, right? And lots of people have done this nightclub, like this virtual nightclub thing, but nobody can talk to each other. Right? You can't talk to each other. And so there's no conversations. It's just like listening to music and looking at people on screens. And, whatever, man. I can fucking listen to music on my own and watch like something cooler on my screen on my own, So the reason we did 10 people was because you have to be able to communicate with each other, right? And so if people are left to their own devices, right? If we're left to our own, we're not going to go join a Zoom room with like fucking nine random other people, right? But if you're sitting at home with nothing to do and you buy into this event, then I put you in a Zoom room and I put a host in the Zoom room. So that's how you run an event, is you have a host hosting the event, hosting the Zoom room. And so that was the difference that I had, and the reason I had that is because I have tons of students that work for me, right? And they're good vibes, They're there for a good time, and they're smart, so they're able to like host the room, make sure everybody comes in, follows the rules, right? Follows the talking rules, and has a fucking great time, So
I have to say that was a very smart idea, man. My hats off. So and I did not see that answer coming, and it was like the moment when you said it, I was like, wow, that is so true. So the host, what were the hosts doing this whole time? Were they teaching how to make the drinks, or what exactly was going on with those hosts?
So the host, good question, because the host is the key. Like basically the host is the event. It's the heart and soul of the event. So the host, they host the Zoom room. Okay? So it's their Zoom room. They give out their Zoom room link, right, specifically to the 10 people that are in that group. So they're the ones that facilitate the entire thing, right? It's all organized for you. You buy your ticket, we give you the instructions. All you got to do is do what we say, show up, and there's someone waiting for you. I just got off a conference, call meeting with an investment company here, and there's a host of it, right, waiting for you when you get into the meeting. That's basically it. They're hosting the Zoom room, and literally their job is to just kind of walk you through the whole thing and make sure you have a good time. So they get people to play drinking games, so that's a big part of what they facilitate is drinking games. That's it, because they're fun. And and also we switched to Facebook Live.
Okay.
So those are the two things that we're doing during the event is Zoom party rooms, I call them, and Facebook live stream. And the Facebook live stream is where we had it was a virtual crawl. So I live streamed from the restaurant.
Got it.
Okay. And the bartender at the restaurant went on Facebook Live and showed people like a professional cocktail making lesson, from your house. And so the host walk you back and forth, right? Make sure you go to the live stream, you know what I mean? Make sure you come back to the group. Once you have your drink that you made, they make sure you fucking drink it and have a great time.
Right. And that's how you think outside the box, people. Please.
That's
it. that's a great idea. Now let me ask you. We don't know how long this is going to be, and I know you were excited about the terraces opening again. I saw that you posted about that, and that's it's just a beautiful thing when we want to cater our people in person as soon as possible. But we have no idea what's going to happen. We don't know if it comes back, if it comes stronger, whatever it may be. There's no way that we know, really. So do you plan on continuing to do this? Is this something that's going to be like a monthly kind of event, or what is the idea?
So good question. I have learned very quickly since COVID many lessons in risk management, and that's a big part of what event planning is risk management. And so I was planning on doing the monthly. So I already had annual events. Okay, I do annual events around drink themes. The first one's Caesars, second one's sangria. Everybody loves sangria.
I saw that.
And then the third one is tacos and tequila, baby. Tell me one person that doesn't love those two things, especially together.
We have a Mexican restaurant for a reason.
And so basically, I already do those annual events, right? So I immediately turned them into virtual events. So Caesar one went really good. We sold 200 Caesar kits. I got 200 people in the fucking Zoom rooms partying with each other. I delivered the kits to their houses. It was a logistical fucking nightmare, and I did it. And it, you know what I mean? And it was a good time, and people really appreciated the fact that I went out of my way. You know what I mean? Like I put my heart and soul into like making something happen out of the worst situation that's going on in the world. So then the next month was sangria. Okay, so this was the second event after having done one already. Sangria is way more popular. So I thought we're going to be in quarantine. Okay, so this is where the risk management comes in. I went all in on my budget and everything on selling 300. Okay, and then Black Lives Matter hit and social media came to, that's where I do all my sales is through social media mostly. So sales stopped, and then patios opened. Who the fuck knew that was going to happen?
Right.
You know what I mean? Not me. So when patios opened, the demand dropped for virtual events to about 10% of what it was before.
Right.
Because even me personally, if I can go to a patio, I'm sure as fuck not drinking on Zoom. You know what I mean? Why would you if you have a better option? So my idea was to do tacos and tequila kit and continue to do the virtual events. But now that patios are open, I'm going to do patio events.
Got it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. So God knows, you know what I mean? So at least here, okay, you guys are I'm so sorry for what you guys are going through. It's absolutely insane. Like, this is a terrible thing. We're lucky here in Ottawa. They really clamped down, and we haven't had a reported death in 9 days, so. Awesome. We flattened the curve, and now, we're kind of, so I'm in Ontario, okay? And it's one of our provinces, like a state.
Right.
And so right beside us, right across the river of me is Quebec. It's another province. And so there's different rules there in Quebec. It's French.
Yeah, very French.
And so,
I've been.
Very French. It's you know what I mean? It's French. So there's different rules there. Bars are open at 50% capacity inside right now, because they're a little bit faster and looser with their loosening of restrictions, but so what I see in the very soon future here in Ottawa is them opening inside at 50% capacity because they just made masks mandatory inside.
It has to be, you have to control a little more. I know Quebecans. Do you call them Quebecans? How do you call them?
Quebecers.
I mean, I know some don't believe, but it's some serious shit, Same thing happened here. So yeah. And again, we were starting to open, and now we're taking a step back to phase one. Now it's getting more strict, and it has to be. There's nothing we can do. We can't argue with it now. It should have been earlier, but that's there's no point in getting political. Just that
Yeah. I mean, it really sucks. I feel very fortunate that the government took the right measures to, it sucked. It sucked leaving my house, but, I'm really happy that I get the opportunity to do an in-person event because, that's what life's about, baby.
Right.
It's about connecting with people one-on-one, it's about those experiences, and I'm super excited to pivot.
Correct.
Again,
pivot back
to the new COVID restrictions
right.
that
the new norm,
are
new
on
normal.
my events, which,
What are the local restrictions over there? Pretty much.
So the local restrictions are you have to be sitting at your table in groups of six at 50% capacity, so socially distanced,
Right.
6 feet apart tables, and they just made masks mandatory, so that just happened like today.
Got it.
And so it's groups of 10,
Groups of 10.
maximum groups of 10, and half capacity on patios only outside.
Right.
Only outside.
So I have a feeling that even though, people do want to be, there in person, some of these online events are gonna stay and are gonna be coming back once in a while. And I'm not talking just you, but in general. We again, we opened with those restrictions and 6 people per table maximum and masks on. Then they said mask off. Then now mask on again. Then we started seeing that for example in Miami, restaurants that were supposed to have 6 people were having 10, 12, 15. We're putting 3-4 tables together. Then the restaurant, bars weren't able to open, but restaurants that had a bar were having parties and crazy amounts of people. And when people start disrespecting just a little bit, I guess you see what you see in Quebec, the numbers rising up, and so I have a feeling this is gonna, still be coming back. So I think you should be thinking of ideas outside of your area alone too, and bigger,
Oh, absolutely. For sure. Virtual events are coming. Look, this whole thing identified, a virtual event market that needed to be satisfied before this started. And now that it's happened, it needs to be satisfied even more. So The only reason I'm not doing both at once right now is because I'm still fucking figuring everything out as I go. I don't have the capacity to do virtual and in person. You know what I mean? I've got to figure one or the other out.
Right.
So 100%. If we go back into quarantine, I'm waiting. You know what I mean? I have the model. I created it. I know how to throw virtual events. And honestly, take this and run with it. That Zoom room host, bringing people together for that experience. Mark my words. That's the key. It's going to be the future of online gatherings, is people gathering in Zoom rooms hosted by somebody that brings them there, And
it just makes so much sense. Let me ask you, what did people tell you after that first experience?
They had an amazing time. They loved their host. That was it. Over and over again, it was we loved our host. We loved the bartenders. They loved learning how to make the drinks. They loved it. You know what I mean? And the bartenders are all sassy. They've got their own flair.
Right.
And but they really enjoyed the drinking games in the rooms.
Right.
Because. Yeah, it just connects them on such a deeper level.
Right.
So so a lot of people made friends.
That was my question. Did you put people that didn't know each other, or were they all friends?
Yes, exactly. So basically the idea is, there's max amount of people per room, so you can fill up the room yourself, come with your friends, fill up the room yourself, or you can join with 2 friends or 4 friends or no friends. You can join completely by yourself, and we're going to put you into a room, and that's going out, baby, right there.
Right.
You're going to go meet new people. And so we kept getting messages after, because it's an afternoon thing.
Right.
Our target demographic with these cocktail kits was wine moms.
I was gonna say I saw the comments, and I saw a lot of women.
It's wine moms. It's moms that are at home. You know what I mean? It's Saturday afternoon. They've got $80 to burn. Because the cocktail kits aren't cheap.
Hey, and nobody deserves it more either right now.
Literally. So yeah.
I'm happy, man. I'm glad. I like hearing good stories. Even though you had that second not so good experience, but it's also an experience, and it's good, and it lets you learn from for the future. And in the end, it's very positive. But just being able to think outside the box and figuring out a way to bring people together, online and make it profitable. So I don't want to get into the money part, but I do want to ask you one question, comparing to what it would be, for somebody to go out, on a regular day or whatnot, the price that you had there, was that something like super cheaper than that, or is it about the same, or what was the idea there?
It was about the same as a premium experience, I guess, right? Like, yeah, so we charged $50 to $60 for our cocktail kits. After tax and delivery, it comes up to about 75. So,
but you're saying for the kit, but it's really for the whole experience.
Exactly. That's what I was just getting at, is like the cost of the kit itself is like, it's not that much, but organizing the hosts and doing the live streams with the bartenders and coordinating with 4 venues, and we're working with tons of local businesses for donations and advertisement and stuff. So that you have to charge a premium price in order to make a tiny bit, because people see $75 ticket and they think you're making a bunch of money, but no, we're selling a bunch of fucking booze for Smirnoff, you know what I mean? And like other things, that money's not all coming to us, right? So the margins weren't that great, but because I was able to pull together such a fun, unique experience, I was able to make it profitable. And where other people are sitting around doing nothing or losing money, I was able to make a little bit of money. I learned some amazing fucking life lessons. And like moving forward, once I have the capacity, you'll be seeing me out here throwing more virtual parties.
That's awesome. All right. So before we go, I want to ask you one thing, and that is you mentioned life lessons here, and I want to touch on one thing that attract my attention, and is the fact that you have not been drinking. Not just, I mean, I guess during the quarantine, but it's more of a being sober kind of thing. Can you tell me a little about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in the industry for years. Long time.
Right.
So anybody that works their way from the bottom up to the top of the industry will probably understand a little bit of the dark side. This is a drinking industry, and drinking goes hands in hand with drugs, and it's just the way that it is, and so I actually, part of my story was that I lost my brother to drinking and driving about 8 years ago. I went through a spiral, and I ended up getting into the industry, which was like a good outlet for me, because I was going to kind of party anyways, right? To mask my emotions. But then my partying it made me successful. It made me, do better and better in the industry. Right. So it kind of like became this thing where I got better and better at what I was doing. And like, I got more connected in the scene and more opportunities, because I was at all the parties. I was having all the fun. You know what I mean? I was the guy, I was the guy at all the parties having all the fun. Okay. So years and years of that, really will, build up, especially with my mental health issues surrounding my brother. I had I built up some bad addiction problems and mental health issues. And look, man, after you hit rock bottom enough times, you fucking, you really want to start changing your life.
Right.
And it wasn't until I changed my environment, my working environment, my business, where I surround myself with, the places that I go, the situations that I put myself in, that I was able to make the leap and be sober. So at the beginning of the year, 2020, I was like, this is my year. I know everybody fucking said that, but legit, I meant it. And I went all in, and that's when I actually got my 3 marketing contracts. I picked them up because not only was I killing my own events so much, but I was organized enough as a business to take on marketing contracts on top of planning and running my own events, 3 of them a month, as a solopreneur. Okay, so the reason I stayed sober and I got sober and I'm working now sober in this industry is because of the success that the success that I experienced being sober is the reason that I got sober. And fucking, it's been quite the experience working in this industry and being around booze sober. But I'm able to do it because I hit rock bottom enough times that I'm over it, So it's been quite the journey. It's been quite the journey working in this industry sober.
Man, congratulations! First of all, I mean, it's nice to see those stories. And I actually believe that you're one of the few that has taken 2020 with all the shit that came with it and made something of it. You know what I mean? That's a good thing. You definitely do not need the drinking with the vibe that you have. You know, the energy that you have, bro. There's no need for that. You know what I mean? Some people may need it a little bit to get out there and be able to start a conversation with somebody or whatnot, but not, you know, it's good that you can stay away from it and still be in the industry because it is something that we love. You know what I mean? As long as you know that you can stay away from that part that's not going to help you out and it's just, you know, going to drag you in the wrong direction. I actually do believe that the ones that really, really make it in this industry long term are the ones that are able to do something like you. I had four partners in Colombia, club owners. They were the ones managing partners. I was just an investor at the club, and the four managing partners were actually recovered alcoholics, and they were all you know, not drinking, and it was probably the best partners I've ever had. You know, it's crazy.
The key. It's the key. You know, it was the key that you know what I mean, really unlocked the next level of success in my life, because there's never those moments where I'm making stupid decisions or saying stupid stuff or ruining relationships or anything like that. So, and yeah, like, I think it's funny for people that are recovering, you know what I mean, alcoholics and stuff in this industry, because that are able to operate in it after, is because, I don't know, I feel super grateful that I get to do all this fucking fun shit all the time.
Right.
And it's my job, right? It's my job. Like, it's my industry, it's my career. So, yes, it's not as fun, you know, when you're out and whatever, but, you know, like you said, like, I'm the loudest person in the fucking room already. So yeah, I can manage, and I'm really happy with, you know, without the sobriety, I wouldn't have pivoted my business. I wouldn't have had, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have figured that out. I wouldn't have been on point. And, you know, so yeah, awesome. It's a key. It's a key to getting to the next level. Awesome. Anybody that's fucking watching this that wants to be, you know, like a big event planner or club runner or anything, if you're drinking every time you're around it, fucking, you lose. You're going to lose.
Yeah, definitely. Agree. And I've also, you know, done my fair share of drinking myself, definitely. So thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. I know that the listeners, this is something that is, you know, heard worldwide, and there's a lot of people that are going to enjoy this one, and they're going to most likely, you know, move on to do something like what you are doing. I encourage them to find you and ask you questions about, you know, how you made it happen, and maybe join forces. Who knows, you know? So where can they find you, Matt?
Yeah, thanks so much. You can find me at Mr. Matt Ward on Instagram, and that's where you want to follow me. I share all of my journey on my story, and that's the place you want to find me.
Awesome. So again, guys, you know that where to find me, the Nightlife Entrepreneur, on Instagram. You find my book, The Nightlife Entrepreneur, on Amazon. All the episodes of the podcast, nightlifepodcast.com, and all the courses on nightlife.university. Matt, thank you one more time, and I will see you guys next week.